The next speaker is he's a coach, he's an author, and he's a consultant in communication skills. And he will be talking on our topic: a campus at home, e-learning is here to stay. Me as a parent, and most of us have this query: how to take this e-learning forward. If it is here to stay, then how do we make it better? So in this regards, ladies and gentlemen, we have the next speaker joining us, who's the speaker himself. May I request you all to welcome Mr. Nisar Nadia Dwala. Are you ready, Nisar Sahab?
Yes, Alhamdulillah. I'm quite ready.
Great to have you. You're looking smart and good backdrop. Good to have you here, sir. The screen is all yours.
Simplicity is always beautiful. Simplicity is always beautiful.
Sure.
Alhamdulillah. So, Jazakallah wa khairan for inviting me. And if you permit me, I can take over the mic and the system. Inshallah, if you permit. If you permit me, you are the chair.
All yours.
Jazakallah wa khair. Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qul hazihi sabili ad'u ila Allahi ala basiratan ana wa man ittaba'ani. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. My respected brothers and sisters, the host Umar Bhai and Asif Bhai, Alhamdulillah, it's a big honor for me to address on a subject which is very trendy now. It's about e-learning. And as I said, my topic is a campus at home. In every Muslim home, rather in every society, in every homes, there is a campus. Whatever the campus has to teach, the syllabus may be different. The syllabus may differ, but the campus is there. For example, if my daughter wants to learn cooking, there is a campus in my kitchen. My grandmother, my mother, my wife would teach cooking. So there is a campus at home. If you want to organize, if you want to teach your child how to organize the bookshelf or wardrobe or keep your bathroom clean, the campus is there. You have to teach your child. And that is exactly the real education. The real education is not only about syllabus and complete the syllabus and get top grades. No. The real education comes from getting life skills. And there is nothing better than home. And I know, being a Gujarati, I know this, that a lot of Gujarati boys, nowadays girls also, they join the BCom in Mumbai, BCom, Bachelor of Commerce. They don't want to become chartered accountants. They are average in studies. But at home, they are busy helping their parents in their business. Many Gujaratis run a parallel business at home while doing jobs. So they are learning from their parents. They discuss, they write accounts for their parents, they discuss the issues about the clients, they handle the clients. So by the time they are graduated, they are already experienced. They are already experienced. So they have a campus at home. We also have a campus at home. The Maulana comes at home, he teaches Makharij, Tajweed, Sahih. These are the things we have, the facilities of campus at home when the Maulana comes and he teaches. After lockdown worldwide, the education system, which was actually in the early days, till today, people used to travel all the way to learn. Now education comes home to teach us. Now education comes home to teach us. Initially we used to travel. Imam Bukhari used to travel from Samarkand, Bukhara, Nishapur to Baghdad, Medina, Syria, Damashq and other places. So in those days, those were the learning days. In nowadays, people go to Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, Canada, Australia to study. Now what has happened is that these universities like Oxfords and Harvards also have started their e-campus. It means that they have anticipated that e-learning is going to be a big business or a big thing for a long time to come, till some other technology does not supersede it. But what about the Islamic schools and what about the Muslim schools? This is the theme of our seminar today. What have we prepared? So now when we come to Islamic schooling, when we come to Islamic schooling, there are plenty of learning available, plenty of learnings available on internet. I am myself aware of so many online tajweed classes. They charge affordable and they keep on teaching tajweed, makhraj. There are some students whose Islamic schools were closed for 1.5 years and they were doing hifz half the way. So they started looking for private tutors who can revise whatever they have done and proceed further with their hifz. So this is another type of e-learning at home. E-learning does not only mean history, geography. No. I know about people from China. When I go to internet and study, people from China, Indonesia, whose English was weaker than an average student. But through YouTube, through taking tuitions from British and the American speakers and trainers and coaches, they all started to learn English, and they speak in English, British accent and American accent. This was e-learning. Now they get jobs in America, Europe, when they go with their graduation and post-graduation. E-learning, the Muslim schools cannot avoid it. The madarises should also have to be equipping themselves with more PPT and content. Now the question is, there are two aspects. One is from where will we learn, and the other is how to teach. So there are teachers and there are learners, but in this crowd there can be deviation also, as Sheikh Abdul Bashir said, that there can be deviation in terms of liberation, extremism. But there is one more danger, is the danger of Aqidah and culture also. So when we choose somebody to teach our children e-learning for private school or private learning or tuitions or coaching, when we choose somebody, we have to be careful about the Aqidah. Because no matter how much educated we are, the success of Muslim community depends upon the correct Aqidah and Manhaj. If they fail in this section, all the amount of studies that they have garnered will be useless for them, and it will be of no use for them on Akhirah. Because our education system, Islamic education system, and the purpose of Muslim studies, Muslim school, is to build Akhirah and teach without putting the Akhirah in danger. This is the main purpose of all Islamic schools. So when we choose the syllabus, when we choose the teachers, we have to be careful about whom we are appointing, because many a times we may not be at home and our child is learning, so they get friendly with so and so, and there can be deviation. So this is one aspect. The second aspect about learning, when we talk about learning, we have to be also careful that the parents themselves should also start getting trendy about e-learning. Now, for example, there is a father, he is a tailor. Like many Muslim parents are middle class and professionals. Not many of us are educated. This is the reality. But can they participate in their children's education? Yes, they can. They may not be expert in maths or science, but they can be very good in trendy technology, how to make which sites and how to download, how to record. These are the technological aspects which parents should do it. सीखने में कोई बात नहीं है, ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगता है, किसी को पूछ के सीख सकते हैं. You can go to YouTube and find out how. So normally what you should do, you should record the proceedings of e-learning. For example, a teacher is teaching in the classroom and the students are listening. Some of them might be sleepy, some of them have stomachache, some of them has a distraction. So what is the best procedure for the parents? If they are trendy, they will sit with the child and they will record it. Once the recording is over, it is like a revision session. See it again. See it again. During the exams, see it again. So majority of the parents will be saving the money of tuitions. Just till last year, we had lots of people, hiring tutors and trainers and coaches to get top grades. Now, what happens is that since education is now available, and one of the biggest achievement of the Muslims, and I'm very proud and happy to say that the pioneers of e-educations or the impact on e-educations is done by Muslims, and there are two prominent Muslims, they come in my mind. One is Imran Khan Academy, the Khan Academy, which all of you all know. So any subject which your child finds difficult, he can go. And this is a global education. One Muslim is hosting a big education or a campus all across every subject that is being taught, and that is want to be learned from academic youth. So this is an Khan's Academy, right? We can avail. The second prominent name that comes to my mind is Najib, Dr. Najib Khan. He is an American doctor. He has recorded no less than 500 video talks, no graphics, no sound system, no beautiful background, nothing, no wearing blazers, nothing. A whiteboard, a chalk, and he's standing and he's teaching the medical students worldwide. There are 500,000, 5 lakh, 500,000 students in medicine, first year, second year, third year, fourth year, interns. They listen to his lectures and they revise their studies. Imagine, these are the two big contributors. I don't know, there are many, but students from Russia, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Australia, America, they are all his students. Means any MBBS student who takes admission in medical college, any part of the world, they are recommended that they should see Dr. Najib Khan's lectures on internet, YouTube, free of charge. Nowadays, they have kept $5, but till now they were free. So e-learning, if a Muslim for the cause of society, if he goes in it to promote goodness in society, he becomes a big hit. And this applies to each one of you. I don't know whether you are a trainer or a tutor or parent or student, but one thing is that each one of us can contribute. Each one of us can contribute in e-learning, e-teaching, e-organizing. If you cannot, for example, I know of some parents, the students are at home, nothing to do. So they all gather, the parents gather, and they arrange that we will make a group, and one day, morning 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, they hire a fitness guru, means a fitness trainer. So he comes and does stretching exercise, because the children sitting at home getting obese, मोटे हो जाते हैं, lazy हो जाते हैं. So one session, 5 parents, they gather, they contribute, and there is an e-learning of fitness, exercise at home. Then there is an English reading, then there is a storytelling, then there is a maths revision, then there is an allocation competition, and just like an entire school extracurricular activities along with academic activities, these few parents, they have started lots of activities on internet through mutual contribution. One of the parents is a good dietitian, so he will talk to students about dietitian, and the students are the same. My son and his classmates, 5, 10, they all come together and they all contribute little by little money, and look at the amazing results. By the time the lockdown was over, means in Sharjah, Dubai, these students, their knowledge was higher than their companions, because the real education, as I always say, it is out of the textbook. It lies in conversation with seniors. It lies in getting knowledge more than the textbook. It lies on internet nowadays. It lies in observing a champion or an expert. These are the other sources of education which are plenty, easily, freely available on internet. So see to it that you do not miss out this opportunity of e-learning, because it is here going to stay. It's up to you. How many skills do you want to learn from e-learning? How many skills you want your child to learn? Life skills, how to iron the clothes. Education is not only history, geography, maths, English. Education is life skill. Education is life skill. I have started teaching business to people who are freshers. Lots of job cutting is there. So people looking for business, and being a Gujarati and growing up as a salesman right from my second standard, I have become a business strategist. I have started training business. So anything can be taught, anything can be learned nowadays. So see to it that you utilize and try to teach as many skills as possible to your children. Make a list, go through YouTube, find out experts. And if you do not find out, getting confused, whom to choose, take advice from us. You can take advice from me, you can take advice from Umar Sharif, or we all can make a panel of, doing research and providing all your needs. Which course your child wants to learn ironing, how to polish your shoe. This is a life skill. Till 7th standard, there are boys whose shoes are polished by their mothers. What kind of education is this, I say? What kind of a topper you are, I ask him, that your shoe is being polished by your mother. Look at your bag, it is very shabby. You have 7 lectures today and you have brought all the textbooks and workbooks and notebooks and carrying it to school because you did not have that training of how to take a timetable and pick up those books which are going to be taught. So you are getting 10 kilos of school bag, you are carrying it on your shoulders. So life skills should be taught as much as possible. In this scenario of lockdown is an opportunity to build a campus at home. And this campus at home is actually something what we say homeschooling also. And now homeschooling is a big trend in America, in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi. It's growing up. And whatever happens in these countries, very soon it is going to be a trend in India also. So that's it, inshallah. Whatever limited time I had, I pray to Allah that Allah accepts whatever efforts I have put, and may Allah accepts our gathering. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nisar Sahab, what a wonderful speech and good energies. In fact, while you were talking, I see a lot of people who are commenting good thoughts, good appreciations and all have poured in. We've got a couple of questions. I hope you're able to see the questions and if you could respond to the questions. If not, I'll read out the questions to you.
Yes, please read out and summarize the questions.
All right. I would try my best to do it with my limited knowledge. So the question from Jabir Hussain Sahab is, how can we focus on the children both on the Akhirah and Dunya, since he's from a different place? Because of the lack of schooling of Islamic education there, they are sending their kids to different set of schools and learning different things, which is non-Islamic. So
Yes.
how do we support these students? How can we make an initiative to build a good educational society which will help those students brighten their career and will help to seek knowledge of Islam?
The question is about those parents who are living in a remote part of India, small village where there are no schools and not even English schools are there, not even. So that's why I said e-campus, build a campus at home. The parents should also improve the tajweed, makharij, fiqh, essential fiqh, learning tafsir, hadith, and they should discuss at home with the children. Number 1. Number 2, they should spend money in Wi-Fi, technology. भैया थोड़ा सा सोना गोल्ड बेचो and buy good laptop. हाँ, 1 तोला सोना can fetch you a very good laptop खरीदो, अच्छा sound system खरीदो, अच्छी screen खरीदो, और उसके साथ you can have, then your Wi-Fi is, if you are spending more money, you have a good fast Wi-Fi, 4G, 5G, whatever Gs are possible nowadays in India, Indian villages also. Even the Jio is also offering Tangle, online Tangle, the Wi-Fi Tangle, we can hook it on your laptop and start. So once you have good technology, the studies for your child becomes easy, affordable, and vast subjects, vast tutors, many things to learn. But the thing is that discipline is essential. You have to be disciplined. You have to see that your child does not waste time watching Instagram and what is the new and reviews of movies and serials. Don't waste time. Use it for 24/7 learning, inshallah. This is how you build a society.
So the next question is, in my community, the Jamaat we have observed high number of dropout or discontinuation of studies. What 5 points you suggest to stop and reverse this? There have been good number of dropouts.
There are good number of dropouts. This is also my concern, and you will be shocked to know I have seen dropouts even in Dubai and Sharjah. When people bring their families to Dubai and Sharjah, there is a recession and the father loses the job. But he has been told that you can stay 1 year. For that 1 year, he cannot send back his family. Because what will they do? So the children are not going to schools. And there are no less than 1,000 Muslim students, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, Indians. They are not getting education even in a city like Dubai. Dropouts. And among Muslim community of Hyderabad, Bangalore is okay. Hyderabad and Mumbai, after 1200 Muslims are found only on streets at midnight on their bikes. or restaurants? Or do you find them as a salesman selling mobiles and jeans and t-shirts? There is no other fourth thing where you find Muslim youth. So what should be done is that those Muslims like Umar Sharif, who are running schools, Arshad Bashir Madri, he also runs a school, Ocean School. They should start evening or Sunday classes for the dropouts and tie up with some schools like National Open School of Delhi, NIOS, or any private schooling where they can where their children can appear for SSC or 10th standard or 12th standard. So the schools should come out with, and Saturday, Sundays, holidays, or in the evening, the school gets over at 4 o'clock. These students can come 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, learn some languages, learn math, science, basics, and they can appear for the exams. So this is the best thing I would suggest. For that, even the parents should volunteer themselves. I will teach maths, I will teach English. There are many of us who can teach. So these are my suggestions, which have been practically applied in some schools of India. After they hired me as a consultant, I give them strategies of improving the schooling system. So I hope it works here also, inshallah. Yes,
Inshallah.
Asif. Jazakallah khair.
So, Nisar Sahab, very good, brilliant explanation. In fact, there have been a lot of questions which have been coming in. So considering the time, we'll have to let go the questions. We would try our best if we can take these questions offline. We'll try to take the questions and share it with you. And inshallah, Mr. Omar Bhai and team will figure out a way to have the questions answered by most of our speakers. And I think we'll have a lot more coming in the near future. So, Nisar Sahab, what a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much.
Jazakallah khair.
Bringing in your
Inshallah.
sparkling energy. We like the body language you had, the interest, the enthusiasm, and all. And yeah, may Allah keep you a lot more healthier and wealthier,
Ameen.
so that you can spread the right message. Thank you so much.
Jazakallah
And
Asif. Jazakallah khair.
brilliant to
Keep
have
on
you
looking.
here, sir.
Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.